Welcome to the ThunderCast, your Marshall Athletics podcast produced by the fans, for the fans, with your hosts, Russ Livingood and KD Hudnall. We're bringing you the thundering word on the thundering herd each and every week. So keep it right here. The ThunderCast is on the loose. Thanks for downloading another episode of the ThunderCast. You can follow us on Twitter at ThunderCast_pod. Enjoy the show on our ThunderCast YouTube channel and listen to the show on all major podcasting outlets. We're just days away from the home opener for Marshall Thundering Herd football team. And joining us here in just a few minutes is one of the guys that is making the machine run these days. Russ and I are going to be talking to new Marshall Athletic Director Gerald Harrison here in just a few minutes. But before we get into all that, Russ, we got to pay some bills. Let's get us a quick word from our sponsors at Leasure Oliver PLLC.
If you've been hurt in a wreck, call the law firm of Leasure Oliver PLLC. Find them at 304carwreck.com.
All right, as you guys can see, we've got Vice President and Director of Athletics for Marshall University, Mr. Gerald Harrison, joining the ThunderCast. Sir, we appreciate you taking some time out of your really busy schedule, especially since the home opener is just days away, to join us and talk a little herd.
I'm excited to be here and I'm glad to be on the ThunderCast. This is awesome. I would say one of the first things that I did in the process was watch a couple episodes of the ThunderCast to learn a little bit about Marshall Athletics before I got here, before I came on my own campus interview. So,
wow.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, I've got to say also, when your name started getting floated around as possibly the guy, I went and listened to the episode that you did with Gov Talk at Austin P. So I felt like, okay, Mr. Harrison gets it. He's one of us, kind of. He's a man of the people. So that leads me into my very first, most easiest question of the day.
Okay.
You know, Russ likes to say we ask those hard-hitting questions. This is the easiest one of the day. What do we call you? Is it Mr. Harrison? Can we call you Gerald? Is it Big G? G Money? Where are we at with this?
I think all of them work. Most people call me Gerald, but it just really depends on where you are. The staff's been calling me Big G. They call me that at Austin P a lot. So anything works. If you're around South Carolina where my dad was coaching, I'll be little coach or little G. So it just, I'm not. One thing you'll learn about me, I don't take myself too seriously where I worry about it too much.
Well, what we need to get out to the fans is when they see you walking the lots, they got to know what they can yell at you, Mr. Harrison or Hey G, come on over, that kind of thing.
I will tell you, I get weird when people say Mr. Harrison. So they just call me Gerald and we'll be fine.
No,
awesome.
Can do.
I'm going to hit you with our first question here because this kind of is like back in the past. What was your first memory that you can remember of exposure to Marshall University? If you would tell us a little bit about how you heard or saw or witnessed anything about them.
Well, you know, my dad, being a high school coach for 30 years, 17 years after that in college, but growing up in high school, we watched everything. And so I remember Marshall as an FCS program and the success that they had and the championships they won. I actually remembered we watched anything that had anything to do with football. And so those are the memories I remember with some of the great players during that time. And then obviously everybody knows Pennington and Moss and things like that. But I remember the FCS days. I think that was my first time trying to figure out exactly what the Thundering Herd was, you know, growing up in South Carolina. So that's I'll say that would be my first thoughts.
I think you're going to appeal to a large portion of the fan base of that SoCon era. You know, they still hold that very near and dear. But now it's a Sun Belt era. So let's talk real quick about some vision and growth type stuff. As the herd continues to establish itself in the Sun Belt Conference, what's your long-term vision for elevating the athletic department profile nationally while also preserving those traditions that are so important to us here in Huntington that make this university so unique?
Yeah, I think, you know, the first thing we got to do is get everybody to understand that it's great to be in a small, great community like Huntington and know all of the traditions, but the country deserves to know all the great things about Huntington and know about Marshall University. And I think that's a gap that we got to fix. And so, yes, the movie's great. I've seen the movie. I know everybody wants to talk about the movie, and the story of the 75 is I won't say it's great, but it's obviously a story that you understand, you know, and it moves you, and that's really important. But the great story also is the rise and the comeback, not just of Marshall football, but of our university, of the community. And then it is ongoing because we all know that there's been challenges, with some things like, some drug issues and some things going on downtown. But this town keeps coming. This town keeps coming. So my job as a representative of Marshall Athletics, which is the front door of Marshall University, is to say, listen, come in and learn about all of us. Learn about what we're going to do. Learn about how we keep doing this over and over again. Learn about our resiliency. How do we do that? We get ourselves on national platforms where we don't just play regional games. Like, I want to be in a conversation with our folks that I've been fortunate to meet at ESPN and places like that, and feed them stories. I'm going to use Grant and aggravate them. Anything happens, we're going to feed it to people. We're going to get on NCAA committees and national committees. I want our people on selection shows. I want to flood the market with our brand. And I think if you do that, then people start clicking on your stories. Then people learn more about your area. They need to be surprised about Huntington, West Virginia, like I was surprised about Huntington, West Virginia. Like, they don't realize that this place is a great food scene. This place has unbelievable people. Like, they hear it, but they don't know it. And it's our job, my job, to create opportunities for our athletics department to put that on display for the country.
I think that's awesome, man. And I got to say, before Russ jumps in here, one of the biggest weapons that we have in that fight is the herd fan base. People come for one game, and it's almost a certainty that those people will come back for a game when they find their team back on the schedule. Herd hospitality is legendary. It's nationally known, and we hold that very near and dear to our hearts. And Missouri State's going to find about that this weekend, just what herd hospitality is all about.
Yeah.
And you mentioned food, and that speaks directly to me. I care more about that than most things in life. But no, you mentioned Huntington many times in your answer there. And I have to ask, Marshall aside, the people of Huntington aside, is there something about Huntington right now in your short time you've been here that you've already fallen in love with?
Yeah, I will tell you, and I don't know if it's a sponsor thing or not. I may get in trouble, but I think
doesn't matter.
I think it's probably Rocco's over in Cerrado.
Oh yeah,
good choice.
Yeah. What's your dish? Tell me real quick. What's your
my
dish?
God, the rigatoni, the spicy rigatoni thing. Yeah. I'm all in on that. But obviously I didn't get as big on accident. It took practice, so I don't mind eating. So, but that's probably that. But that's important, and I really will say. This is really a beautiful place. Like, if you get out and ride around, and I know it's green now because of the time of year, and I know the color shape, but it's the school colors had to be green because all the trees and the hills and everything. This is really a beautiful place. So driving in from Tennessee, my wife and I talked about that when we crossed into West Virginia. We're like, man, this place is special. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
And so I don't think we get the credit for that. Or the town gets the credit for that as much as it should.
Well, they certainly try. They certainly try to keep it pretty for folks when they come into town. And like I said, you come once, I think you're going to come back. And I love your answer there. The little quip about it took a long time to get to where you are because you love the food. That tells me a commitment to the game, right? You've got a commitment to the game.
I'm dedicated. I am dedicated. I'm dedicated to my wife and my stomach.
So let's talk about that. Let's use that commitment, and let's talk about another Marshall athletics related topic. And of course, it's something that fans love to talk about, and it's facilities and the resources. And we know that drives recruitment and helps get a higher caliber of athlete here, which hopefully leads to more wins. So what does the role in facilities upgrades, training infrastructure, resource investments, all those type of things, what role does that play in keeping Marshall athletic programs not just competitive, but winning championships on a championship level? And how are you prioritizing projects to maximize impacts across all sports?
Yeah, great question. First of all, I like to say I don't really believe in competing. I believe in winning. And yeah, we want to compete for championships. We want to be in that platform, but we want to win them as well. So we got to do things to build us for sustainable success long term. And this program has a lot of, has done that. So that's not anything new to you or the fan base or anybody listening. I think the most important thing we got to do right now is attack and grow the places where they work, train, eat, sleep. Those kind of things matter. Because in the world of transfer portal and revenue sharing and all these different things, we're not going to have as much money as everybody. But what we can do is provide an experience that's better than anybody's. And I mean that. So one of the first things that we're going to tackle is working on areas that won't necessarily be public to fans. It will be about what we have to do to get our infrastructure together and build something where our student athletes can say, you know what, when a recruit comes in, you need to go over to the new buck. You need to go over there and see what we have done in the nutrition areas and herd fuel and all these things. Look how we revamped those. Mm-hmm. So one of my first projects is going to be 100% dedicated to the student athlete experience. And so we'll talk about it. We'll take pictures. We'll brag about it because we want it out there. But that's going to be what we tackle first. I think after that, we got to look at every aspect of our program. We got to take a good look at the CAM. We got to take a good look at SCAGs where our student athletes practice and train. Those buildings are older. We've done some great branding, but there's some infrastructure stuff that we have to do. I think the biggest is the deck is great. What we're going to launch on Saturday. That's great. But we got to do some other refurbishings as well that deal directly with the student athletes. And that's why the SCAGs and CAM are right there. I think the indoor turf, we're going to find the turf on the indoor facility. The Klein indoor facility has got to be worked on and probably replaced to improve where our student athletes train. That's probably a little bit 10 years old now. That's past its life. So we got to do some work there. So I got a list of projects, and the way it's going to help us and impact us and help us compete is by it's going to deal with the student athletes first. Mm-hmm. And then while we're doing that, we'll work in renovations to the club and the suite levels and premium areas and do some house cleaning. I'm a big recruit ready person. So how do we get our concourse to look great at all times? How do we get our seating and power wash some things and maybe create a couple of fun zones in the stadium that we can do in the south end of the stadium. So there's a list of things that I've already got in 3 weeks that we're going to work on. But like I said, it starts with the student athlete. That's probably a longer answer than you wanted, but that starts with the student athlete part.
No, that's exactly what we're hoping to hear, because that's what people are curious about. We don't often get the opportunity to peel back the curtain and hear these conversations and hear these ideas. And it's refreshing for the Herd fan base to know that not only are you cognizant of these things, not only do you have a list of these things, but there's an action plan also. It's not just talk. People want to know that, and I appreciate that long answer. That's exactly what fans want to hear. That helps them loosen those wallets a little bit and donate to the Big Green or join for the first time, which is something we always are trying to do.
Yeah,
we got to do that for sure. Yeah. I got to have a lot of big ideas, but no money, it ain't going to do much.
You can't do it without that. You got to have support, financial and people buying into those things. So yeah, right. Spot on. I'm going to shift gears just a little bit. This Saturday, we had a phenomenal, by all accounts, I was in Georgia, but by all accounts, the Zach Bryan concert was just grand slam, everything top to bottom. People raved about it, in person, online, and everything. So I have to ask, now that we've seen such a phenomenal success with that, is it a priority that we try to duplicate that and do it more to help us bring in more revenue for revenue sharing, NIL, anything like that?
Yeah, I would think we're definitely looking at that. We've already started conversations and considering folks that would maybe be willing to come to Huntington. Now, will we do it exactly the way we did it? I would promise you, we would not do it the week before the first home game and displace our football team, from their practice facility in their building. And we did too much a little bit at the same time. We're doing the deck. We're having football practice, and we're trying to build a great concert environment. That was a lot. And Andrew Brown and facilities team, and Teddy and those guys over in the Big Green did a great job in making that happen, but it was a lot. So we're looking at strategic dates of when it'd be great times to do it, and maybe one, maybe two. Just depends on where it fits and the interest. But yeah, I was able to get back here in time to see right when everything got toward the end, right when the last act got on, and it was tremendous. And the energy was real, and I got a chance to see what I wanted to see was how our stadium works. Because you got to remember, I haven't seen it with any people in it.
Mm-hmm.
So to actually see people in the concourse, seating, trying to figure out parking and things, so that did me good. But yes, to answer your question, we will do it again. The revenue is very important. It is going to help us, yeah, sure, in the revenue sharing standpoint, but it's going to help us do some of those things I talked about as well in the front end. So I can see us doing that again, and hopefully do it again maybe in the spring of 2026.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Brain dead right now. Yeah, 26. But hopefully we will get that. We'll get that done.
That's great, man. I think the Joan is a great venue, not just to watch a football game, but seeing the visuals of that concert looked like it was a great place to see a concert. I hope we do see more of that.
There were people online saying that they have never heard anyone sound like they do in a recording on TV, on the radio, or whatever, until they got to this concert at the Joan, which is outdoors, and they were just saying, "Hey, phenomenal! We got to go back for whoever they come in with next time."
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited. If it all doesn't work, we're just going to do the ThunderCast live on the stage.
Hey,
there we go.
You know,
I'm down.
Maybe that could be the entry. Maybe that could be the lead in to the concert.
Don't threaten me with a good time. We're going to switch gears one more time, and we're going to talk football now since it's days away. I mean, we have a huge tailgate planned that we hope to see you at. I've challenged you to critique the ever-loving crap out of our food because I think you're going to enjoy yourself if you stop by. But
I'm coming through. I'm like Christmas. I'm showing up.
Well, you can come deep. Bring the whole crew. There will be plenty. We're going to talk football now, and specifically under the leadership of head coach Tony Gibson, which fans have bought into in a big way, and I'm one of those guys. So now with Tony Gibson at the helm of the Marshall football program, what strategic priorities from recruiting and staffing to culture and resources are you aligning behind him to support his vision and ensure the herd isn't just competitive, but poised for consistent championship runs?
Well, I think that's part. One of the things we're going to do. And I talked about it first off with our facilities. We have to improve our student athlete experience. That's going to help him tremendously. Yeah, obviously we got to keep with our collectives. Obviously we got to do revenue sharing. But at the end of the day, our weight room has got to be better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not the coaches. The facilities got to be better. We got to get our training table, which is great. Herd Fuel. Everybody on campus has helped with that. Herd Fuel is a phenomenal place. We got to continue doing that and looking for ways to continue to grow that. I think as far as making sure he has the staff that he needs, the people that he needs, where it comes from, it's so much more, right? You got to evaluate transfers, player personnel folks. If you look at what we've done from a senior staff standpoint, executive staff, transitioning Mike Valentine not only to just a football oversight, but this general manager position for our department. So he's working on, how do we do this thing? How do we best do it? What other schools are doing? We're evaluating all of this to help Tony. And we present that back to Tony and our other coaches as well, but to help them prepare for what this new era of college athletics is going to be and to keep us a step ahead. So I've talked to him I go to practice all the time, but we have a meeting every Thursday, and that's his meeting. Tell me what you need. Tell me where we are. How can I help you? And sure, there's going to be things that we're not always going to be able to do. But one of my favorite sayings is this: we can't always shop at Nordstrom, but we dang sure can shop at Nordstrom Rack. So we're going to get there, and we're going to be in style. It just may be a season behind us. But if we plan well, I believe in prior planning prevents poor performance.
Mm-hmm.
If he tells us what we need, and we plan for it, and then we go, then we give him every opportunity to be successful. If we get a great sports medicine department, which we have thanks to Marshall Health, if we continue to get the right strength people and those nutrition is right and all that stuff is right, we're going to have great student athletes who are going to be prepared physically and mentally to go out there and kick somebody's behind. And I hope it starts this weekend with Missouri State.
I hope it does too. And I want to feed you a T-ball question here, because this is one that the individual fans need to hear from the people at the top. what can the individual fan do to fuel that purpose for you? How can they individually contribute? If you're a guy like me that can't write a $10,000 check, right? I'm an average fan, but what can I do to help that?
I'm going to tell you exactly what you can do. The simple thing is this: show up, buy a ticket, come into the Joan, the Cam, whatever facility it is, show up and represent. Anytime we fly our logo, anytime we're talking about the great, that spreads our legacy. That helps coaches recruit. That helps a lot of times. Yes, everybody can join the Big Green. There's levels from $60 up to multiple $1 million. So we can all get in there. It's like those commercials that come on after midnight with the slow music. For only $12.99 a day, you can do. Everybody can do that. But not only do we need your money, we need your support.
Yeah.
Like, we need people that, regardless of what's going on, I don't want you to hide behind your keyboard supporting Marshall, or wear your shirt on Saturday while you're at Home Depot or at Lowe's somewhere. Get your behind in the stadium. Bring your family, bring your friend, bring a neighbor. If you're a herd person who always tells me, I've been here for so long, I've gone to every game since the stadium is built up. Great. Did you bring anybody else? What did they tell you at church? Bring a friend. Friend and family Sunday. Well, we should have friend and family Saturday every time our gates open, or Wednesday and Saturday for basketball, whatever the dates are. That people don't understand. That makes you special. I compare Marshall a lot of ways to my time at University of Tennessee because of the passionate fan base. When I was at UT, you knew every Friday before a home game. There was a radio station that would play Rocky Top from 7 a.m. until midnight that night. But everybody had car flags on their car, signs in their yard, and they were passionate. I'm not asking for 100,000 of those people to fill Neyland Stadium. I need 30-something thousand of them to fill the Joan.
Yeah.
And yes, we want to talk about West Virginia hospitality. That's great. Third hospitality. That's great. But when you come in here, your team comes, you need to know you played Marshall.
Yeah.
You need to know you're in Huntington. So, I'm starting a campaign. I was going to actually talk about it on Twitter tomorrow, where we need to find a way to get signs or flags from everybody's yard, from wherever the team's going to land or where they're going to drive in to the Joan. So, they're like, golly, because it means something. When we traveled to Georgia this past week, you saw that dang G or something all the way from Brazelton, where we were staying, into Athens.
Yeah.
You also saw a couple of kids throwing up middle fingers, but that was different.
Yeah.
But that means something. That lets people know that, man, this is a good football team.
That's right.
These people behind them are absolutely panicked and insane about them. That's what we need. Sure, join the Big Green. We want to do that.
Well, to put a big stamp on what you just said, every coach that we've had on here, we say, what can the fans do? The number one thing that they say before they say anything about, hey, we'd like you to donate to our championship fund, or hey, we would like this, they say, we need you to pack the place because of the difference it makes for our student athletes out there. The home field advantage, the home court advantage that it brings when the fans are there, because we have loud, passionate fans. Right. But they can't be loud and passionate from the parking lot or from the couch. They need to be over there to make a bigger difference in person.
And can I say one thing before we go? I know y'all may be on the time thing.
We're not on the time thing. We're on your time. You go ahead.
But one thing that I'm committed to and what we're going to do, and I didn't really talk about this much earlier, we're going to create a fan experience to where we are the show. I said to our marketing folks earlier, we're going to come up, hey, come for the show, stay for the game. Mm-hmm. Like we're going to give you a reason to get off your couch. Now, I'm going to evaluate this weekend because it's my first game and see what's been done. And I don't want to take anything away from what's been done previously. But there's always something else you can do. We got a new fan area going to be on the intramural field. Mm-hmm. We got some new concession things going on. Mm-hmm. We got a lot of things going. $2 concessions when the gates open. Yeah. Get your behind in the stadium. Enjoy yourself. Every tell me how much. I got 3 emails my first day about how expensive concession fee. I'm giving it to you now for $2. Yeah. Just come in the venue and get in there and enjoy the entire atmosphere from the Marching Thunder to the to the music, to the video board presentations. And by the way, I've seen some of these videos. They're going to be awesome on Saturday. And so I tell them, green helmets, new coach, new AD, some new things in our game day atmosphere. Let us prove it to you. If you come, you'll come back.
We've heard people say $5 for a bottle of water. Now you can bring in an empty, clear plastic bottle, and you got water refill stations there, so it's free. So
I want to make one point though. We asked that last question, this most recent question, and G raised up in his chair and leaned into the camera because that tells me that what he was about to say is really important. He was speaking to our fans, right? Speaking directly to you guys. Come to the games, go tailgate, then walk inside the stadium. Don't leave your experience at the gate. Go through the gate, walk onto the concourse and out the tunnel and see Joan C. Edwards Stadium and all the energy and that beautiful Kelly Green has to offer. Watch the guys run out of the tunnel. Watch them put on a show this Saturday. I guarantee you want to come back. I hate that I can't come to every game. I love coming to Joan C. Edwards Stadium, the Cam Henderson Center, the Jack, all of it. I love coming to all of those places. And the folks in Huntington have the luxury to go, and some of them don't. And there are guys like me that live so far away that would love to be there and simply can't. I'm coming from outside of Tampa, Florida this weekend to be inside Joan C. Edwards Stadium for the home.
That's what we like.
I'm bringing my family with me. I know that there's some friends of mine down here that would love to come back to a game. But all those folks that are 2-3 hours in a radius, 4 hours a radius from Huntington, you got no excuse to not be there. This is the only game in town. It's the only game in town. It's the best game in town.
Well, we're going to do a study, and I did it when I was with Duke, and we put out a document that showed people in the Raleigh-Durham area that the best value for their entertainment and the best price for their entertainment was coming to a Duke football game. And as you know, those who follow me know we were very bad, and we worked our way into a very consistent program. But our fan base grew for football. Basketball was always there. Grew football. I'm going to do the same thing here in Huntington. If you're not here, if you're in Huntington and you can get in on some of our ticket specials and other things, we got tailgating, we got food, we're going to do a study. Get your hot dog, get your food early so you can take advantage of the $2 things. Bring your water bottle so you don't have to pay for the water. Pay for your ticket to come to the game. I guarantee you it's cheaper than going to the movies. And taking a family of 4 to the movies. Can't really afford that right now. I never would have dated my wife and taken her to a movie. It's too expensive. I ain't had that much money in South Carolina. But it's cheaper than going to the mall. Going to the mall because you're going to buy something. Going to Charleston for a few days. All that stuff's great. But come give us 3-4 hours on a Saturday. Give us 3 or 4 hours on a Saturday. I guarantee you'll leave fulfilled with a spirit and a passion for martial athletics that you hadn't had because you didn't know. And as we continue to grow things, it's going to be really phenomenal.
A family of 4 can go and put the code family in the tickets. 4 tickets, $99 each. Divide that by 6 games. It's $16.50 a person to come to a game with a family of 4. And it doesn't have to be a family of 4. We don't talk about this often, but if you add a 5th, if you add a 6th, it's the same thing. You just add that extra $99 for that seat for 6 games. So it's $16.50 with a minimum of 4 people. There are people out here that 2 people and their 2 best friends go, and that's 4. There are people out here, 2 people and their 2 kids, and that's 4. That's all you have to do, and it is so cheap to go, cheaper than, like you said, to go to the movies, to go to dinner and things like that. And it's 3 hours of entertainment plus all the stuff before and after the game that you get to entertain yourself with.
Sir.
It is so good. Get to the Joan this Saturday.
Yeah. Mr. Harrison, I really appreciate your time this evening. I know we've done a lot of it, and I'm not trying to get more out of you, but if there's anything left that you need to say to this Herd fan base to drive any of these points home, please take the opportunity to do that right now, because we do not want to leave you hanging wishing there was some more info you could have gotten out.
Well, the only thing I'll say to them is say to everybody is this. It is a great day to run with the Herd. This is our time. This is our moment to do something special. The foundation is there, and it started long before me. One thing I will never do is say I built it. That's not what I'm doing. I'm taking what was already done and laid out before me with plenty of other people and who's done it And Lord knows the tragedy and everything that's happened. A lot of people have done this. But what I can tell you, there's nobody more passionate about taking us to the next level as I am. And I believe there's an opportunity there. And there's going to be some times where we're going to make some decisions that everybody's not going to like. And I'm going to come back on the Thundercast and have to explain it. But why did you do this? Or why did you do that? And I'm never going to be scared of those answers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like when we moved Austin P out of the OVC after 70 years into the ASUN. It was not the most popular decision. You know, when we built in a brand new arena, it was not the most popular decision. But things had to be done to put us in a position. And what we got to do right now is get in position. And between this fantastic town, between Brad Smith as our president, who I don't know if there's a person who wants it more for the state of West Virginia than Brad Smith, especially this area. Like, I mean, so to have his leadership, you got an athletic director who's going to run through a wall and ready to go for it. Tony loves West Virginia. Like everybody says, you want to coach from where he's from here.
Yeah.
So that's one of your own. Support him. Support him. And we're going to make sure you do something and keep you proud and make you proud. We just need you there. So that's my last.
I'm fired up.
I get fired up. I'm sorry.
I was ready to roll already, and now I'm really fired up. Saturday ain't gonna get here quick enough. We're getting up in the morning.
Yeah, I'm gonna start tailgating right now.
Russ,
we'll make it happen. I'll have them open the gates, but if you want to come on down.
Oh well, Russ, there's nothing left to do, man. Just take us out of here, would you?
Yeah, Gerald, before we end this, if you would, once it ends, stick around for just 30 seconds. And then, but no matter where you see us, if you see us at the Jack, if you see us at the Vet, or if you see us at the C Lot, and then going into Joan C. Edwards Stadium this Saturday, where it's wear your Kelly green, not just green, wear your Kelly green to support this herd, like Gerald Harrison just threw down the gauntlet. No matter where you see us, we're going to be saying, go herd. It's the ThunderCast.